When I started my first challenge, I didn't have a logo. I didn't have a business LLC. I had nothing except a willingness to show up and serve people with something that I had figured out.
You can do this without having paid ads. You can do this if you don't want to be icky, salesy, or sleazy. You don't have to do any of those things.
It's going to be through mastery of one thing. And this is the one marketing framework, my friends, that I believe you should choose to master. Let's go. Welcome, everyone, to day 3 of the Challenge Secrets Masterclass. Again, my name is Pedro Adeo, known as the Challenge Guy. Here's my good friend, Russell Brunson, and some amazing speakers showing up for 5 days to help you understand what we believe to be the most effective funnel, whether you're launching, growing, or scaling, to help you right now. That's working today in 2023. So again, welcome to day 3. If you thought that video was fire, put some fire emojis in the chat right now and help me thank this amazing ClickFunnels video team that just are turning these out for us every single day. And just, man, those get me fired up. So hopefully they're getting you fired up as well. Again, welcome to day 3. We have a power-packed, jam-packed day today. And if you've been loving this so far, let us know. We'd love to know that this is actually serving you, that you're getting massive value from this. And just let us know in the comment. And hopefully you're telling your friends about it as well. But I want to jump right into day 3 because we have a lot of ground to cover. Today's that third day. It's that pivotal day that we're going to shift from the front half of the challenge. Today's the middle, and then we're going to be on the back half. And so hopefully you're seeing all this will start to come together over these final days. But I want to jump right into it. And if you can cue the slides, guys. So today's day 3, how to create a super cool challenge. And I was like, man, that doesn't sound very professional. And I'm like, you know what? Who cares? Like, this is what you want. You want a super cool challenge that stops the scroll, that people go, that your ideal customer goes, man, that sounds cool. I want to be a part of that. So today we're going to talk about how to create a super cool challenge. And to help make sure that you get the most out of today, I want to make sure that we did one thing from yesterday. So real quick, some of you guys are joining us for the first time today. Welcome. It's not too late. If today's your first day, welcome. Be here, take some notes, and then just make sure to go back and catch up on days 1 and 2. You guys can rewatch these trainings. They're going to be here live and available on replay from now until end of Friday. Okay. So you've got all week to consume this content absolutely for free. And to make sure you can catch those replays and have all that, you want to be officially registered at challengesecretsmasterclass.com. Okay. So if you're here for day 1, for your first day with us, no problem. Challengesecretsmasterclass.com is where you go to get all the goodies. Make sure you catch the replays and are made aware of what's happening all week long. Okay. Second thing, I've encouraged you guys to show up every single day, whether you're on live or replay. If you're watching live right now, put team live or hashtag live in the chat. Let me know that you're here live with us. We've had thousands of you joining us live every single day. If you're catching the replay, you can go ahead and put hashtag team replay. We know that some of you guys love watching this on replay. That's all good. As long as you consume the content every day and you stay current with us, that's all good. And make sure you're doing the assignments. I would treat this free challenge as if you invested $10,000 to be here. Because I think that is the level of investment at minimum that would help you treat this information with the level of respect and care it deserves, because what's being shared from this stage and virtually with our guests literally has the power to not just change your life a little bit, but I'm talking about like completely transform your life. And again, I encourage you guys to not just be here as a note taker, but be here as a note taker than an action taker, because the transformation that you're looking for is on the other side of you applying what you're learning. There cannot be transformation without application. So show up and take action like you spent $10,000 to be here. And make sure you grab your free workbook. We have an amazing 28-page workbook with all the homework and the content spelled out day by day at prizes.challengesecrets.com. Gave away an iPhone Pro on day 1. Yesterday, we gave away an iPad Pro on day 2. Today, someone's going to win 12 months of Zoom access. And all that is at prizes.challengesecrets.com. All right, that's the housekeeping. Now, I want to shout out all of you guys that are doing the homework. Holly, get up here real quick, guys. I want you guys for the first time officially, our VIPers know who this awesome lady is. This is Holly Peel. She has been holding it down with us in the VIP all week long. And if you've been on any of my challenges before, you know Holly is. She's my right hand, and we do this together. And so she's been here in the chat, supporting, coaching you guys up, loving on you guys in the chat. And I asked Holly, first of all, it was her birthday yesterday. So if we can just shout out happy birthday to Holly.
They gave me a lot of love yesterday.
Oh, really? Okay, yes. But just more love for Holly for being with us all week on her birthday. Kind of flew out halfway through Mother's Day. So
this is here. How much I love you guys.
That's it. So, but I asked Holly to just grab a couple of the homework assignments and the shares. We want to shout you guys out for taking time, being thoughtful with your homework. Again, the homework here is not for me, not for Russell. Like, you're not going to get a grade here this week. This is for you. This is for you to actually have the outcomes you're looking for. We want to just honor and celebrate those of you guys that are taking this seriously, as I think you should. So, Holly, let's shout out some people.
Yeah, this is my favorite part. I love celebrating you guys because you're the ones putting in the work and the effort. And I love that Renee said, man, I was facing my fears. I overcame a lot of tech stuff, but she did it. She did her homework. Ruth Heron, she even like highlighted everything. It's so beautiful. She says, I have no words. So much value.
What I like about this one with Ruth.
Yeah, show me.
She couldn't get she's like, I couldn't even get she had trouble getting the worksheet to print. Her printer was out of ink. She's like, I don't care. I'm like, I'm just going ahead and doing it all on my notebook. So I love that. Being resourceful.
Yeah. And then Paul says, VIP was life-changing. It could literally change my future. He did his homework. Sandra did her day 2 homework. And at the end, it asked, how do you feel about it? And she said, I feel so excited and happy because when you find your purpose and you know what you're doing, man, it brings a lot of life. Arstein?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, did homework on graph paper. It's like very formal. Becky Brown figured out her offer. She says she feels incredible. She said this was such great content. She appreciated the permission to focus on her one thing.
Let's go.
Which was awesome. We have Judy. She's like, VIP was gold. I got all my homework done. Man, guys, there's page after page, a ton more. Linda, Alexander, Nicole. She says, excuse me, but I'm not letting my printer not working stop me from completing my homework. And she also just hand wrote everything.
Awesome.
We got more. You want me to keep going?
No, that's good.
This is you. This is you showing up and doing the work, and you're going to get out of it what you put in it. So
awesome.
Good job.
All right, guys, blow up this chat. Show some love to Holly for being with us all week long on her birthday during Mother's Day, because she absolutely knows what this can do for your life. Holly's been around from very early days of me getting started in this entire online industry. She joined my 100X program at a conference in, 2018, October 2018. And then she joined our team. And so literally she's been around, saw this entire framework unfold over the years. She has seen what this framework and this challenge model has done, not just to change my life as a friend to me, also as someone who's on our team. She's seen the thousands of people whose lives we've impacted over the years by just learning this framework. So again, congratulations on being here and for doing the work and being in this challenge of playing full out. So I want to jump in because one last bit of housekeeping, just a quick reminder, all the live trainings and replays are happening in our private Facebook group. To get there, go to prizes.challengesecrets.com. Okay, there are, please report any spammers that are dropping unofficial links. Report those to our group admin. We'll get them deleted, blocked, and banned. Do not click on anything that's not for me, Russell, or obviously official ClickFunnels team member. If you have any VIP questions, billing@clickfunnels.com. If you have any 2.0 questions, billing@clickfunnels.com. That's the housekeeping. Who's ready to get started? Say, let's go. Put let's go in the chat, guys. Let's jump into day 3. I want to say my favorite day, but they're all kind of my favorite days because they're all super important. But I'm looking forward to today, especially because I've never really taught this topic this way before. So here we go. Day 1, we talked about the old way. The old way, which required a lot of marketing skill, was not super easy to get started with. And I was learning how to do a lead magnet funnel, then a low ticket funnel, then a webinar funnel, and finally a high ticket funnel. Talked about that for a lot of people who are just getting started, this might be difficult to pull off. You might not have the copywriting and marketing chops yet to pull off this level of complexity, which may be why you're struggling a little bit more than you planned on it in this entrepreneurial journey of online marketing. And we talked about that there is now a new way to accomplish every single objective in your business to grow your email list. Is it wise to grow your email list? Yes or no? Put in the chat. Put in the chat if you think it's smart to start building your email list. People that have given you permission to send them messages as often as you want. Put in the chat and you're like, Pedro, duh, obviously, yes, you want to build an email list, but here's what I found. There's 2 ways to build your email list. You can spend time and money trying to get people to show up and opt into your lead magnet funnel, where you're paying money to platforms, you're spending money on ads to get people to go to a lead magnet funnel to give away something for free, or you're spending time trying to work social media to get people to a lead magnet funnel just to get a lead. How about this? How many of you would rather make money building your email list than spend money building an email list? Because I have sent 0 paid traffic to a lead magnet funnel ever. I just used my one challenge to build my email list as I've grown my paying customer list. So with this one challenge funnel, you guys have seen that literally you can accomplish every single objective of your value ladder, of this whole entire marketing conversation, growing your email list, attracting low ticket buyers, core offer buyers, high ticket buyers by using one framework. That was day 1. Day 2, yesterday. Okay, real quick about this. Why, Pedro, why are you obsessing on this being the one and only funnel? Here's why. Because I believe in this power of focus, and I've seen it work. There's an ancient proverb I don't know who to give credit to, because I looked up this quote this morning. He who chases 2 rabbits catches none. And on one quote, it was given credit. It was said it was a Russian proverb. Another place I saw said it was Confucius. So I don't know who said this, but this is true. And you should believe this. Or if you don't believe me or this ancient Russian proverb or Confucius, you should go out and try and catch 2 rabbits at the same time. And then you will learn this to be true. Many of you are struggling because you are continually trying to not just chase 2 rabbits, maybe 3, maybe 4. You're trying to launch and learn way too many things at the same time. And that's just going to be very difficult to ever get any momentum and traction and begin to even think you're going to learn mastery, trying to learn so many different ways to get this thing to work. So that's why I'm obsessing about this one thing that you choose, this one funnel to have success with. Put all your effort and energy here, because that is the one that's going to get you all the way from taking complete strangers, cold traffic, people who don't know you from Adam, and turn them into red hot, highly engaged buyers in 5 days or less. So that's why we're kind of stressing this, to make it easier for you to get some real momentum. All right. Decisions create focus. I would say that out loud. Say, decisions create focus. The word decide actually means to cut off. When you make a decision, you are cutting off all other options, all other distractions. When someone gets married and they decide and they choose that one person, they say yes to that one and they say no to everybody else. So decisions create focus. So I want to make sure that we're going into day 3. I want to make sure you've decided at least 2 things before we do today. Okay. 1, have you already decided to put all the other shiny things away that maybe could work, might possibly work, maybe could one day work, and choose the one thing, the one funnel, the one method, this challenge funnel, as the one and only method you're going to invest time, energy in to launching and growing your business? Have you already made this decision? If so, say yes. Put just yes in the chat. Let me know if you've already made a decision, because I've been working very hard these last 2 days to help you get to that place first. Not for my benefit, but for yours. I already know challenges work. How do you think we got here? I'm just trying to help you know they work at the level that I know you need to actually follow through. Here's what I believe. Can you guys help me out here? I believe this. How many of you can we just have some real talk? Put hashtag real talk if I can have some real talk with you. Put hashtag real talk if I can have some real talk with you, my friends. How many of you would be honest enough to say that just being honest and being for real, that maybe you have not taken enough action in this area of online marketing, entrepreneurship? When you actually honestly assess how hard you've tried and put time and energy into making this thing work, how many would say, Pedro, I haven't taken as much action as I believe I need to? No blame, no shame, just an honest check-in. Can I tell you why I think that is? I believe many of you are not putting in the level of effort and commitment and energy because you actually don't have complete confidence that what you're putting your time into will work. And of course, it makes sense. Why would you give full effort to something if you didn't actually believe it'd work for you? So here's what I know to be true. I'm working hard to shift this belief because I know once you believe this is the one way, the only way for you, you will show up differently. There's a saying, there's 1% in doubt and you're out. So we're here working to eliminate and drive doubt to 0. And you will show up completely different. That switch will click. And it's going to pull you into a level of certainty and commitment and action maybe you've never seen before. How many guys are feeling this conversation? Just put feeling in the chat, or just touch your heart, tap your heart. How many guys are feeling this? They're like, Pedro, man, whoa. We're getting right to the heart of things. Let's go. Come on, it's day 3. We got to get to the heart of the matter. So hopefully you're already a yes on decision number 1. But yesterday, we talked about the second decision you need to make. I see people procrastinate and not run a challenge because they have this story that says, well, Pedro, I would totally do a challenge. I'm convinced challenges are the way. I would totally do my first or next challenge, but I just don't know what to sell. If I only knew what to sell. Well, that was what yesterday was about. So let me help you make that decision right now. How many of you would like some help to nail down that decision? If you've already picked your offer, if you already know what you're selling tomorrow, then just put, I already know in the chat. Blow up this chat and just put, I already know. Okay? Good for you. Awesome. But here's what I know to be true. I would say that the majority of you have been thinking about this, but you have not yet committed and made that final decision. Turn this right now. This training that's about to happen, literally right here in this session, you will get the most out of this training by already making a decision on what to sell, what to offer. Because as you hear the training and the frameworks that are being unpacked, you will then interpret it through the lens of that offer. And your creative mind will be awakened and able to put connections together for you that are only possible once you give your mind a focused target of what you want to sell. So it's imperative, my friends, that you make a decision now. Now, here's the good news. You can change your mind later. But for today, right now, I'm going to help you pick one thing. I'll make it super, super easy. Holly was telling me a lot of you in the chat were saying, hey, where's Gangster P? We want some more Gangster P. Well, all right. A little bit of more Gangster P today. Helping you. Gangster P is that loves you, cares about you, but Gangster P is going to help you make a decision. He's going to help you decide. Because Gangster P knows that until you make a decision, nothing has changed. Okay? So I'm going to help you guys that are still not quite sure what you're going to sell on the back of your challenge, and we're going to decide that now in the next minute or two. All right. So here's the deal. If you are already, keyword, already selling something, and you would like to sell more of it, okay? I'm going to say this again. Please, guys, I hope you're really, really dialed in here. If you are already selling something, not you're going to go create something one day, not you're thinking about something. If you already are selling something and you want to sell more of it, then my question to you would be there you go. That's what you should pick. And the people who probably said, I already know, quite possibly this is them. So specifically, it's probably this. If you are a service provider done for you, you're an agency owner or a bookkeeper, an accountant, an attorney, we had a realtor on VIP. If you are if you do any kind of one-on-one coaching, consulting, done for you services, you can 100% use your challenge to get more of that type of business. If that's you, just put one-on-one in the chat. If you are going to use this challenge to do more one-on-one, put one-on-one in the chat. Okay? One-on-one, 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 or maybe you're a service, you can do service. Okay? Now, the other thing that probably I see a lot of people using our challenges for is to sell a course or a membership. If you already, guys, I'm going to lose my voice today. If you already, please say this, already, if you already have a course or a membership, you should know that challenges is the #1 way to sell and launch and grow course sales and membership sales. So some of you will fall in that bucket, okay? If that's you, put in the chat. Do you have a course or a membership? And finally, some of you have a high ticket offer, program, something expensive that you like to sell and you want to sell more of it. You're going to do that one. Okay, does that make sense? So this is for people who are already selling one of those three things. Maybe you sell more than one, then that's fine, but pick one. Pick one that you're going to sell and have in mind when thinking about our training today. Okay, now we surveyed many of you in the prize at prizes.challengeseekers.com. There was a simple question and it asked you, what phase of business were you in? Launching, growing, or scaling? Then there was some people that are scaling. There was a bunch more that were growing, but the great majority of you are in the launch phase. Now, I want to take 1 second to make you aware of this, because sometimes it's easy for you to think you suck and you're the only one who sucks and everyone else is crushing it and you just are the only lonely loser in the industry. You're the only beginner. You're the only one getting started. And I want to help you understand, if you are battling with those thoughts, that's just not true. The majority of people in this challenge right now are early stage entrepreneurs who are looking to launch something, who are still looking to have their first success in this industry. And that's why I'm so happy that you guys are here learning this. So if you're brand new, early stage, haven't quite figured this thing out yet, I want you to know you are not alone. That is, in fact, the majority of people in this group. And so if you're in that category, and tell me if you're launching, just put launch. Put launch in the comment. Put launch in the chat if you're launching. Then and if you have not made your mind up yet, I'm just going to tell you, Gangster P would like to offer you a recommendation. Actually, Pedro makes recommendations. Gangster P just tells you what to do. So here's what Pedro would say you should do, and Gangster P would say, here's what you're doing. you're going to do what I call the no excuse challenge. The no excuse challenge is just that. It leaves you no excuses for why you can't do this literally like next week. Here's what you need to do a no excuse challenge. You need a smartphone, which I think is the only phones they make now. Like, well, I think they still make I've seen a couple of old school flip phones around. I don't know what those are for. Maybe like, I don't know who buys those phones. But you got to work hard to go buy a dumb phone. All the phones now are smartphones. So you probably already have a smartphone. Okay. So here's a way to launch a no excuse challenge. Doesn't require you to go spend $1 beyond what you've already spent. Because your phone, you already bought and paid for it. You're going to go make a Facebook group. That's free. Now listen, most of us have a love-hate with Facebook. And of course, it's not a perfect platform. But Mark Zuckerberg is giving you a chance to make a Facebook group in his platform for free where there are billions of people already there. You guys, this would shock you to know that I launched my first ever program, my first ever course and membership in a private Facebook group. Use the Facebook group, use the guides, which all of our replays, by the way, are in the guides in your Facebook group. Facebook created this thing, a group has guides. Guide is simply like a module in a course. Facebook is essentially giving you a chance, a free tool to build your very first course in. I was 18 months into my program. We had scaled to multiple 7 figures, and I was still using and delivering all of my paid training in a free private Facebook group. So you need a phone, smartphone, a free Facebook group. You're going to run a free challenge. Let's go back to slides, guys. You're going to run a free challenge based on what you're learning here in this training. And then you're going to make an offer to sell the challenge recordings. This is the no excuse challenge because I'm literally taking away from you any and all excuses. Pedro, I'm not good at technology. Well, you know to use your phone and you know to use Facebook. This no excuse challenge requires no other technology. You don't need a Zoom account. You don't need a funnel. You don't need an email platform. You literally are just creating a free Facebook group and then inviting people to join it on social media and then just DMing them or posting them a link to the group. You also need no money. You already own these things. They're free. And then you're going to sell them the challenge recordings, which means you have no tech needed and you don't have to have anything pre-recorded or anything pre-built. So this is the no excuse challenge. This is the offer I'm going to encourage most of you to choose today. That go into the mindset, you're going to sell the recordings. How many of you guys are going to do the no excuse challenge? And you're going to go into your first challenge with the mindset that at least worst case scenario, you can always sell the recordings. But Pedro, don't I need like a page and don't I need Stripe or some payment processor? No, you can just say, hey guys, if you want the recordings, you can send you, here's my Cash App. Here's my Venmo. Here's my PayPal. Say, Pedro, that sounds super ghetto. Well, it is what it is. It works. Do you know how many people have made their first $1,000 online with this playbook right here? Their first 3,000, 5,000, 10,000? Now you're probably not going to scale to $1 million doing this, but how many guys know between 0 and $1 million, there's a lot of room. So I want you guys to pick right now, decide what are you going to sell? And if you do not already have a product that you know converts or sells, you're doing this. Cool. All right, let's keep moving. Because now I want to talk about how to come up with a super cool challenge that your ideal customers want to join. And this is, how many of you would like to know the number one mistake to avoid when I see people running challenges? Because obviously I am paying attention. My mind, my brain, I think it's called the reticular activation system is literally, I see challenges everywhere. So like my Facebook newsfeed to me seems like it's nothing but challenge ads. because I'm looking for them, right? And I look and I see and I click on them, and sometimes I join yours and see how you're doing it, whatever. And I see people making, this is the number one mistake I see people make with their challenge. How many guys would like to know what that is? Just put me. Blow up this chat and say me, that you'd want to know what the number one mistake is. Well, the number one mistake I see people make, and here's how you'll never have to make it with our help, is their challenge does not have a big idea. Say big idea. Big idea. Pedro, what's a big idea? Well, let me tell you. But challenges that crush it and challenges that flop, because some challenges flop. I'm definitely not here saying that if you just run a challenge, any challenge, it'll crush. No, not all challenges are created equal. There are challenges that crush it over and over and over again, and some that flop. Here is the big distinction. The challenges that crush it have a big idea, and I want to help you get a big idea in this training. So let's go. All right. So with Russell's permission, temporarily for this time only, you're just one challenge away. Because if you saw our funny ad, he let me know, kind of an awkward time to let your friend know something. He let me know I couldn't even say this during an ad. I'm like, dude, you can't tell me that before we turn the cameras on, right? So you're just one challenge away from everything you want in your life and business. Because you don't need to have 85 challenges, because I've run 70 challenges, but guess what? They weren't all different. My best challenges I run over and over and over again. So my friends, I'm going to ask you a question. What do these people have in common? You guys can we have a little fun? Can we have a little bit of fun for a few minutes? Because you can learn and have fun too. So let's play a little trivia. Some trivia right now. Challenge Secrets trivia. If I had some cool like game show music, I'd do. All right. Okay. What do these people have in common? You guys ready? Boom. Who's this guy? Put in the chat. Who is this guy? Shout it out. Huh? Dun 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 dun. Boom boom boom. Right. All right. I played the tracks, but we shut down the stream, copyrights. Okay, who is this guy? You know. Yep, this guy made the Mustang 5.0 cool. Right? I mean, how many of you guys like me grew up in the 80s, you put lines in your hair? See, I wanted to. My mom would not let me. Old school immigrant parents. She's like, you are not doing that. Boom. But I wanted to. Okay. What about this? Hey, Macarena. Who remembers the Macarena? If you can Macarena, now I'm dating because I'm 48, is what it is. Who remembers the Macarena? Dun, 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 dun. Oh, man, Russell's told me he would do the Macarena. No, he did not. I'm just kidding. Guys, Russell Brunson's back today. He's going to be on here, on this stage today with you. And surprise kids, who remembers this guy? Who remembers this guy? Oh, man, baby got back. Who remembers this guy? Sir Mix-a-Lot. What about this guy? Oh my gosh, I'm 264. Whatever. Remember this guy? How many guys are like 25 and you're like, what is happening right now? I thought Pedro was cool. Wow, what is this? Sorry. I don't even know. I mean, I probably should have found some newer ones, but. And then, remember these guys? Who let the dogs out? Who, right? And then, probably the king of all this category, the category king of this category has got to be this guy. Gangnam Style, bump, bump, bump. I mean, Peng Joon would do this up here. Peng Joon would crush this. And a few other my friends in the industry. I have too much pride to do this. But guys, what do these people all have in common? All right, for $100 Amazon gift card, from $100 Amazon gift card, yes. Okay, I saw Holly pick the first person. I think it was Tish. These are one-hit wonders, baby. Now listen, right? One-hit wonders. They probably all have other songs, but none of us care. All these people have other songs, and for $100 million, none of us could probably name one of them, right? They're one-hit wonders, and while being a one-hit wonder is kind of like it's kind of like a diss, kind of like a knock. It's kind of like, it's kind of like a put down, but guess what? They're all rich. They got rich off one hit song. Now look, I per se would not want to be a one hit wonder, but I'd rather be a one hit wonder than a no hit wonder. I'd rather be a one hit wonder than a no hit wonder. What am I saying right now? One hit wonder not a no-hit wonder. How many guys would be okay having one hit challenge, one hit big idea that made you wealthy? Would that be okay? Because it just takes one. Pedro, is that true? Yeah, it's true. I'm going to prove it to you right now. So before I show you some examples, here's how you know you have a hit song, a hit big idea. Here's how you know. It stops the scroll. The people that you want to attract, and Russell's correct, challenges help you attract your ideal customers and also create them. When you have a hit challenge idea, hit big idea, it stops the scroll. They go, wait, what? Wow, that's super cool. I want to do this. That's what you're looking to produce. That right there is when your ideal client scrolling through, because guys, what are they doing? Do you go on Facebook, Instagram looking for things to opt into? Well, Russell does, I do. If you're like a crazy marketer, you probably do, right? But normal people aren't going to social media. Oh, let me see the next thing I want to sign up for. No. So we are interrupting their mindless scrolling. They're just vegging out. They're more than likely on the toilet. Like, they're more than likely probably on the toilet or doing something else. Like, and they're just like trying to kill time, whatever. And then, like, your ad has to, when you're running paid traffic or even organic posting, whether it's paid or organic, it doesn't matter. It's showing up in the feed somewhere, and you need to stop and grab their attention. Attention is the currency of today. So how you know you have a hit? It stops the scroll. And your ideal customer has these thoughts, or even says it out loud. How many of you saw an ad or an email for this challenge, and you were like, what? I just need one funnel? And that got you leaning in. Okay. What else, Pedro? Here's the benefits of having a big idea. You're going to get a much higher percentage of people joining your challenge, paid or organic. So you're going to see way more people saying, wow, that's cool. Send me the link. You're going to have more people wanting to join through organic or paid because it's cool. People want to do cool things. Okay? So for sure help you get cheaper lead costs as well, all things being equal. It's going to help you have a higher show-up rate. People, my friends, here's kind of where I'm at with this whole thing. I just am convinced that people do what they want to do. People do what they want to do. So my goal is, how can I create a challenge? And my goal in coaching you is to help you create a challenge that your people want to show up to. Because if they want to show up to it, guess what they're going to do? They'll show up. So when you have a big idea, you're going to show up rate goes up, completion rate goes up. People that show up and stay goes up. And this will directly transfer to more customers, more sales, because the more people you serve and help, the more people who get to experience how awesome you are, the more people that actually even see the invitation for the next step, that will translate to more customers and more money. Does that just make sense? So let me keep going here. So here's some of my big idea examples, okay? These are like two of my best big ideas. I've got a couple more, but these are my two probably best big ideas. The first one happened in 2020, January of 2020. Now, the funny story about this one is I got this idea in December. No, this idea came in November. At the end of November 2019, I had this idea. And just, guys, I have to be transparent with you guys. My best ideas, all of my best ideas, if you ever see me break an idea down and share an idea with you, and you're like, oh my word, that is brilliant. Pedro is brilliant. Hate to let you down. All of my best ideas come from God. Okay. So I believe in God. I have a relationship with God, and he likes me and he tells me awesome things. And so all of my best ideas come from God. So that's just me being honest, because I don't want to sit up here and have you think that I am, I think I'm pretty sharp, but I don't want you thinking I'm, I just have developed the ability to kind of, whether what you might call it intuition, you might call it the universe, that's on you. You call whatever you want to make sure you feel comfortable. But I just got this idea. I felt like I had this idea pop into my head in the end of the November 2019. And it was like, hey, I read the Proverbs every day. And the Proverbs is the ancient book of wisdom. And so the idea I got was, hey, why don't you just invite people to read a chapter of Proverbs with you every single day for 31 days and help people grow in wisdom? Because that was a huge part of what I did to go from being broke, busted, depressed, and quite frankly, looking for ways out of life. Having my whole life turn around. I spent about 4 years in Proverbs every day. So I called Holly. I'm like, Holly, got this idea. Let's do a 31-day wisdom challenge in the month of December. So that way people can go into 2020 already full of wisdom for the brand new year. And Holly's like my biggest cheerleader. She's like, yes, let's do it. It's awesome. I love it. Yes. I'm like, all right. Then I went to my other important voice in my life, the main important voice in my life next to God, and that's my wife. And my wife is not on the payroll officially. So she just tells me really so there's no filter. So I'm like, babe, got this amazing idea. We're going to do a 31-day wisdom challenge. We're going to start it December 1st. So that way everybody is full of wisdom going into the brand new year. She's like, no, that's stupid. She's like, you should do it on January 1st. I was like, no. The idea is to get them ready for the new year. On January 1st, the new year's already here. It's too late. She's like, no, dummy, do it on the 1st. And if you possibly think that I'm exaggerating and that my wife will never call me dummy, you have not met my wife. She has no problem calling me dummy sometimes in love and respect. We have an amazing marriage. But she's like, no. I'm like, and then I was like, no, babe, it's got to be December. And she's like, no. She goes, I forbid you from doing this in December. Do it in January. And I was like, well, I can only count. I can't even count another time where my wife was ever like, I forbid. And I was like, oh. And since I went broke not listening to her, now I'm kind of on Team Suzette, right? So it's pretty much like, so I was like, okay. So literally my biggest big idea I've ever ran as a challenge is this 31-day wisdom challenge. And here's the hook. Want a better way to start your new year? Want a better way to start 2020, 21, 2020? This was from this year, 2023. Why not kick off the new year by prioritizing the wisdom of God? Now you're like, well, now for this business where I serve, this is a primarily Christian market or a not even Christian market, but a faith-based market. There are people here from other religions who all believe in the Old Testament and the book of Proverbs. And there's people here who don't even believe in the God at all. They just want wisdom. And they've seen my success. They're like, well, I don't know what Pedro all he believes in, but it's kind of working for him. So let me go check this out. So literally, this hook is an awesome big idea. Start your year off prioritizing wisdom from God. And if you don't believe in God, you should believe in a guy named Solomon, because he was the wealthiest man to ever live. And he wrote this book. So whether it's a God angle, a Bible angle, or just this guy was the wealthiest man who ever lived, and he left the book behind, a chapter a day for 31 days, start your new year off. Can you see how my wife was completely right? This challenge in January is a big idea. In December, it's an okay idea. It's a kind of cool idea. But January, when everyone wants new life, new year, new me, this thing crushes. We had 75,000 people join in last year. I mean, guys, John Maxwell's been a part of this. Joel Osteen's been a part of this. Russell Brunson's been a part of that. I mean, heroes of mine, big influencers in both the business realm and the realm of faith. I've had senators and governors in this challenge and be a guest speaker with me. Every day I have a different speaker. So guys, that's an example of one of my big ideas. Okay, another one was the 414 challenge. 414 is from a book, it's from Esther 414, which says, what if you were born for such a time as this? I ran this right when COVID had shut down the world. Here's the big idea here. I took my entire $3,000 course. I had a $3,000 program that I had just sold a month ago for $3,000. Now the world shut down. We went from a Went from offline and online to now online only because of COVID. And I just felt led. To me, when I see crisis, my mind and my heart think serve. When I see crisis, I know this crisis means a lot of bigger problems for more people. My mind goes, how can I serve, add value, solve problems? Now I'm like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to give away for free the training that I have been selling for $3,000. And so I basically did in that challenge what I did to launch the business 3 or so years earlier. And I was like, for limited time, get my $3,000 best-in-class training program absolutely free. Guys, this challenge went bonkers, okay? And then I'm like, well, Pedro, how do you make money with this challenge? How I made money with this challenge was I said, I gave them all of it. I taught the entire course for free. And just so you know, side note, I went back to all of my customers who just paid me $3,000 last month. And I asked them their permission. I said, hey, can I get your permission? I feel like I'm supposed to give this for free for 30 days. Can I get your permission to do this? Because I don't want you guys mad at me or feeling like I, tricked you guys into paying me for something, or I don't want you guys asking for refunds. And they said, no, Pedro, we believe you're doing the right thing. We're good. Go serve people. Guys, what happened here was insane. It was the result of this challenge that Dean Graziosi heard about, the other marketers heard about, and it was the result of this challenge that had me get discovered by the biggest online marketers in our industry, and that's essentially how the Crush It with Challenges launch happened. Okay, these are two of my big ideas. Let me keep moving. Okay, these are my first mentees with my challenge framework. I had no idea this could work for anybody else. So there's always your first success story. I think for Russell, it was I think Liz Benning was one of his core first stories. This is one of my first success story with the challenge. Stephen and Chelsea Diaz, they have this thing called the Rainmaker Challenge, and it was selling an Amazon course. And after talking with me, I helped them decide to go focus on serving homeschool moms. Okay, before they were trying to sell to everybody. Anybody wanted to learn Amazon, passive income, whatever, and it was just not working. I said, dude, go after homeschool moms. And so here's the cool big idea. How to create a 6-figure side hustle during nap time. That was the big idea that we came up with for this challenge, because that homeschool mom is homeschooling her kids, which means she loves her kids. She cares about her kids. She's for sure, she wants to make money, but not at the expense of time with her kids. So 6-figure side hustle when nap time, boom, that's a big idea. No wonder this challenge just prints money for them every time they run it. Another one was I helped Roland Frazier create his challenge, which he's now run, I don't even know, like at least 20 times. This thing prints money over and over and over again. And Roland serves more advanced, super experienced entrepreneurs. And here's his big idea. It's like, hey, there are companies that fail and go out of business like hundreds of thousands a year. He's like, why start a business when you can buy a business? Now, again, this is for savvy entrepreneurs who have capital and have stuff. And he's like, and what if I show you how you can buy one with no money down? Big idea, okay? And here's someone from Russell and I's coaching. He's in our programs, and this was his kind of cool big idea. He is a professional. He was a USA free diving record holder. And he has a course helping people, free divers and skin divers, be able to hold their breath longer. These are free divers. So how about this? How about this cool big idea? The Double Your Breath Hold Challenge. Super cool. If you are a skin diver, a free diver, what is the number one thing you want to do? You want to increase your breath time. So double your breath. And he knows he can deliver on that. How many guys are getting the point here? Getting some examples. All right. Okay. So let me share with you guys my big idea framework. And then I have a special guest we're going to get up here. I was going to show you share some stories with you about some challenges that she ran that didn't work so well, and some ones that now crush it. So here is my big idea framework to help you think about how to get a big idea. Like, Pedro, that's amazing. I want a big idea. If you want a big idea, just put big idea in the chat. Big idea, big idea. Blow up the chat if you want a big idea. But how many of you are already getting the sense, you're like, oh, Pedro, I kind of am seeing this. I kind of get this. Okay, so this is my big idea framework. And I have helped so many people as a consultant, as a coach, and through my courses, come up with super cool big ideas for challenge that you can run over and over and over and over and over and over, month in, month out, to grow your list, grow your business, add more value, serve more people, and do really well financially. So I'm going to run through this super quick, and then this will be for your homework. So I want to get to it. We got some amazing trainers coming up behind me, guys. First big idea, kind of concept, solve their biggest problem. What is the biggest problem of your ideal client? What is the biggest problem of your ideal client? Or simply, what's the biggest problem that you can solve? A big idea for a challenge is, guess what, guys? Most of us have problems, and we know we have problems, and we usually have like one main problem. So sometimes a cool big idea is to go after the biggest problem. Okay. Now, with this big idea, they have to be problem aware. They have to be very aware of this problem. Okay. So if you know what their problem is, but they don't, and you do a big idea challenge based on their problem, they won't click because they don't know that's their problem. So for this to work, they must be problem aware. Say problem aware. Okay. If to use this, they must be problem aware. Here's the other thing. This one's more pain driven. How about this one? Do a challenge based on their biggest desire. What do they want the most above all? Those homeschool moms, they want the most of all to have a 6-figure side hustle while their babies are sleeping. Are you kidding me? I mean, like, that solves their biggest problem, and they have a money problem. They have a time problem, and it's what they want. Now you check both those boxes. You can see why that challenge prints money for them over and over and over and over. Okay. Another big idea or concept. Do you have a new approach? Do you have a new, better way to an old method, to an old system? We're doing that here. We're telling you that challenges are the new way. That there's a new way of marketing. There's an old way and the new way, and it's called challenges. Okay. We're also we're kind of doing a lot of, in fact, you might see, I feel that in some level, we're kind of incorporating all of these into this challenge. But what's the new step? Like, Pedro, I don't have a new step. Well, then don't use that. Try the other ones. Okay, here's another cool idea for you, for a big idea. Many of you have a 3-step process, a 5-step process. Some of you, the transformations that you're bringing people have steps. If you have steps, if you teach people a series of steps in your process, in your transformation, blow up this chat and put steps. In fact, I want to know in this chat right now, tell me how many steps is in your process, in your framework. Is it a 3-step, a 4-step, 5-step, 7 steps? How many steps? Okay, here's what I know about steps. In my experience in working with so many of you guys who have a process, a way that you bring about results or outcomes, you have steps. And of those steps, of your 3, 5, or 7 steps, here's what I've always seen to be true. There is typically one. How many? One. Put in the chat, one. There's typically one of your steps that is sexier than the rest. Now, Pedro, what do you mean by sexy? By sexy, I mean just like the one that people are the most excited about, the one that is the attention grabbing, the one that people think is the biggest, most important part of the process. That's the one that they want. Most of you, if you look at what you're doing, there's things that people want, and there's the things you actually know they need. A great marketer and an authentic, sincere, considerate, and caring entrepreneur who's full of wisdom will understand how to market and sell what people want to buy while at the same time giving them what they need to produce the result. Now, I just said a lot right there, and hopefully you caught it. So the sexy step is the part of your process that people want to learn about. It's the thing that they think is the most important step. And it may be, and it may not be, but it's what they think is the most important step. So it ties back in here. And then special timing. Is there special timing? The 414 challenge for such a time as this. Maybe you were born for such a time as this. COVID, pandemic, the world is shut down. Everything's going online. Maybe this is the time for you to rise. You understand that fortunes are built in chaos, in crisis, in global meltdowns? Do you understand that I didn't even know this, but I was prophesying over myself as well. I wasn't just encouraging you to believe for that. Literally, that's what happened for me, guys. On the back of that challenge, my whole life changed forever. So is there special timing in your industry? Is there a law change? Is the economy changing? Is your age changing? Is there special timing? So these are 5 of my best ideas. I have a bunch more. These are 5 of my best ideas to get you thinking, unlocking your imagination, your creativity. Put a demand on the creative genius inside of you. These are tools, little hooks to kind of go pull those out, guys. Is that helpful? Was that helpful? Okay, cool. Listen, I want to bring up a surprise trainer. You guys definitely know Russell's coming. He's going to come up here in about 15 minutes. And guys, you want to stay to the end all of these days, but especially today. Okay. But I want to have you hear from somebody who is one of our friends. We've been in Russell's Inner Circle together and other programs together. We've had a chance to talk and connect a bunch of times. And they are, Sarah's been running challenges super effectively for a long time. And she agreed to come here and be super honest. You know, most people want to show you their trophies, their success stories. I crushed it here, I crushed it there. But rarely do they show you what didn't work. Those kind of magically go away. But Sarah has a heart to serve. And she's like, Pedro, oh, come on, I'll tell you the truth. I'll tell you that these challenges kind of flopped, but these ones have been winners. And I'll share 100% what I've learned in that process. So guys, help me welcome to the stage someone who has a heart to serve. She is serving people in the photography niche and love her heart. And you're going to have a lot of fun with her as well. But be ready for some gold wisdom bombs to come as well. Guys, blow up this chat. Help me welcome to the stage, Sarah Petty. Hey, Sarah, can you hear me?
Hi, Pedro. Thanks for having me.
No, you were the perfect choice for this because I love that what you do with challenges. You're a great just ambassador of this marketing framework. I think you do them so well. You serve and you add crazy value. And you're in a niche. Let's just keep it 100, right? You're in a niche that a lot of other people maybe have tried and failed in because you're serving people that maybe don't have tons and tons and tons of disposable income. So if you think, oh, Pedro, I don't know, like the people I want to help are broke, don't have much money, Sarah will tell you that a lot of people thought that about her audience, and she has proven them wrong and otherwise. So Sarah, I'm just going to throw it over to you. I think you have some slides and some things you want to show us. So again, guys, blow up this chat. Help me welcome Sarah Petty. Sarah, take it away.
Hey, thanks, Pedro. Thanks for having me come and share my failures. I know all of you are like, oh my gosh, this lady's coming here to share what she's done wrong. But listen, the fact that you are here learning from the best, learning from Pedro, shows me that you're different, shows me that you're meant for more. And hope you guys have some massive engagement for me because I'm going to get a little vulnerable. Is that cool for you guys? Type in cool. I feel like, all right, bring it. Bring it. Okay, because I want to talk, but Pedro's been talking about the big idea and getting this big idea. And I was like, I'm not a copywriter. I'm not a designer. How do I come up with this challenge? And so I'm going to walk you through some of the challenges we've done over the years. And I'm going to share with you why they didn't work. And then I'm going to share with you what we settled on and why it worked. And what I love about challenges is that every single time we do it, we learn, like we get the information from our target audience, which is fantastic. So let me show you, it was really fun for me to go back and look at all of the challenges that we've done. I now run a multi-million-dollar business that started back when I had these 3 humans behind me, where little babies, had 3 under 3. And that's what drove me, was I want to make money and be able to put my family first. And I want to have a meaning and impact in the world. And I did so many things in my life. And the number one thing that changed my life and my business and the business of so many students was challenges. Literally, I geek out over marketing. I love all this stuff, but if I could only do one thing, I would do this. So this was my first challenge in 2017. And I was being a photographer, I think visually, and I was very much of a perfectionist. Type in perfectionist if that's you and you suffer maybe from paralysis by analysis. So I didn't want to do or say anything wrong. So we spent weeks setting up a video and recording this like 15, 20-minute challenge. No engagement, no interaction. And it wasn't really great. Let's just be real. Facebook groups were brand new and I was just pretty scared. And then I paused for like a year because I didn't have the time to be so perfect. And I think back on all the people that I didn't serve in that time. And it makes me sad. I think I told myself, oh, I'm getting my ducks in a row. Are any of you guilty of this? Type guilty. And let me tell you what, you cannot get ducks in a row. Have you ever seen ducks in a row? No. What happens, and you might want to write this down if you're ready to make change in your life, one duck leads and the other ducks follow. People in your community need a leader to lead them. So me waiting wasn't serving me. So the next event we did, the next challenge, this is where the naming went wrong and the big idea went wrong. We named it the Spring Forward Challenge. Who walks through their day saying, oh boy, I'd really like to make change in my life and just spring forward? That wasn't anybody's pain. Nobody was struggling with that. We tried to get all clever. And again, I'm not a copywriter. And so what I realized is, I can just ask my audience, right? You could probably find out today what your audience is suffering with, whether it's like Barry talked about yesterday, health, wealth, happiness. What is it that you can solve and use their words? We were so hung up on getting all these fancy little words and fancy designs. The next one we did in 2020, or not the next one, there were a bunch in between here. And you guys, every single time we reinvented the wheel. Why would we do that? Why would we do that? And so 2020 vision, again, getting focus in your photography business. And what we realized was that these names were too woo. You don't have to get fancy with your challenge name. Ask your community the words and maybe do a survey, give them 3 or 4 choices, pick the number one and go with it. Pedro talked about making a decision and taking action. That's what gets you out of that paralysis by analysis. Then we went forward and we'd written a book called Worth Every Penny. And I thought, okay, this is going to be the big challenge. We're going to have a challenge because people struggle with feeling their worth. So I want to make these photographers feel amazing. And so we created the Worth Every Penny Challenge, which seems to me like, oh my gosh, people are going to love this. They're going to want this. But what I realized is that it didn't have a concrete enough promise. What at the end of a challenge like that, what are people going to know? I mean, sure, we all want to feel like we're worth more, but what specifically? And what I realized people were wanting was more clients, but it took me many years and many challenges before I figured out that that is how I needed to get them to anything that I wanted to teach them. Sort of like with your kids, you don't tell them to come to dinner to get the broccoli. You're like, we have cake at the end. And so figuring out what it is they want in their words is what is amazing. And we can just use their words. It doesn't have to be fancy. And so I let my audience give me the words. There's a free app called Canva. Can get it on your computer, probably on your phone, Canva, where you can use designs. So you could literally get the words from your audience, create your graphics today for free. Instead of thinking, oh, I have to have all these things. I have to do all, put myself out there in such a huge way and make a huge investment. No, we just get out there with imperfect action. One of the other things I learned during this challenge was I'd been recording them and I didn't have any time. And I was like, I was coming in from out of town because I have a big family first filter. And I thought I'm not going to be able to pre-record it. And so I had to go live. And what I realized was sometimes things happen by accident, but I realized right up front, I told people, one of my core values is imperfect action beats perfect inaction. Someone type that in for me. Imperfect action beats perfect inaction. And that's what I was. I was taking perfect inaction and I wasn't helping people and I wasn't helping my family. So I decided I'm just going to normalize failure right up front in these challenges. I'm going to tell people I may have tech issues. I may mess something up. I may not look perfect because I'm just using the computer or phone that I have and I'm not using any fancy equipment. And you know what? It doesn't matter because I'm going to show you that we don't have to be perfect to succeed. And when I started doing that right up front, all of a sudden, I was getting so much love. It became okay to fail. And until we normalize failure, that we're going to stay stuck. And so I heard someone the other day say, hey, you're never, ever going to get rid of your fears. Just stick fear in the front seat and let's go. Type it in. I'm bringing fear with me. Bring the fear. I think that gives us some energy. If we didn't have some fear about making change and changing the world, then it wouldn't mean as much as it does when we get there. So we kind of were getting better at naming our challenges. And the next one we named Ditch the Digitals. So what we teach to portrait photographers, like little moms who maybe are stay-at-home moms and they want to make some extra money for their family, but what they're doing is they're selling digital files for $200. And and then they're staying up all night editing and retouching, and their lives are exhausting, and they're making probably less than minimum wage. So we teach them how to sell large wall portraits to their clients so they can make more money and they can put their family first. So we're like, yeah, ditch the digitals for photographers who are sick of selling digital files. The problem was that they thought the way to make more money was to sell more digital files. They didn't even realize that there was a different way. And that could be your situation too. You have a solution that people aren't even aware of. It's kind of like when the keto diet came in, people didn't even know what it was. And so by picking a name that assumed they wanted to ditch the digitals, we created some confusion with people. The thing I learned in this challenge that I want to share with you, and I learned it from an early mentor. I've always had a mentor. Study after study shows that we go further faster when we have a mentor. Type in mentor. Okay, we can go further faster. My mentor taught me to build the plane as you fly it. I always thought, being a perfectionist, I need to know every single step before I even go do it. And it's like, no, I like have my people name my challenge. And then I'm like creating it. I pick a name, pick a date. And then all I know is by day one, I have to have the outline done. 5 bullet points. I don't use fancy slides. I don't use anything. I just go live. And then I get their feedback, ask them what they want to know. And then I create day 2. We literally deliver our workbook a day at a time, so that I can customize it. And I tell them, I want it. This is for you guys. I want it to be custom. Okay. Type it in. I can build the plane as I fly it, because it's like having a baby. If you wait till you're ready to have a baby, you're just not going to have a baby. So we kept learning. We kept listening to our audience. We kept getting better and better, which is when we landed on the 2 challenges now that we have perfected. We just rinse and repeat. The emails are written, everything's done. I just show up, and then I can take months if I want, weeks. I can visit my kids in college and my out of college kids because of the challenge model. So the first one that we do over and over again is called the 5-day booking boost. That's what every photographer says. I just need more customers, right? I just need more clients. Even though I know they have other things broken, but they told us we're doing mini sessions and we're giving things away and we're running Facebook ads and we don't know how to do it. We were using all this money that we don't have. And so we came in with this, and we have been doing 3,000 to 5,000 people in our challenges in this small little niche for years. Like, we're sad if we don't get 3,000 people. All of ours are paid. The Worth Every Penny challenge was the only one that all of ours are unpaid. Did I say that right? We did one paid challenge, the Worth Every Penny challenge. It was 21 days. It was too long and it was profitable, but I realized I can get 10 times as many people by doing it free. And I'm on a mission to change people's lives, whether they buy anything from me or not. And so my philosophy was the more people's lives I can pour into and inspire, the better. So we did the 5-day booking boost, and then we also do pain-free pricing, which is 5 days to more profitable prices. We know they struggle with this. We know photographers don't know how to profitably price, and they need and want that support. Okay, so literally, I want to share something with you though, actually, that might surprise you. Can I blow your minds for a second? Since 2017, we have never lost money on a challenge. As imperfect as they were, the ones that the names were confusing, or we didn't attract as many people as we wanted, because of the model, and they got to spend 5 days with me, and they get to learn, and I get to learn from them. Like, I'm building the plane as I fly it, which is what the challenge is. I have one final question for you guys, because I know you're here because you want to make change in your life. You want to make change in the lives of other people. You want to be that leader in your life. But I have a question for you. How many of you have ever driven a manual transmission? Did you guys learn? Type me in if you went out and you learned to shift the car, right? First gear, second gear. And my dad was a car guy. And so he wanted me to learn to drive a car, a stick shift, because, every girl should know that. And he took me out in his car, and we were in the driveway, and I remember it clearly. And I was like, teach me to shift. And he's like, no, you have to be moving. And when I saw this quote from Seth Godin recently, I just the biggest bells went off in my mind. And I wish I would have realized this many, many years sooner. He said, the only way to effectively switch gears is to do it while moving, to use your forward momentum to overcome the pause in your engine's power. And I see so many people stopping, thinking, I'm going to pause. Like I did after that first challenge. I wasted a whole year when I could have been helping people, instead of just saying, hey, I'm going to take what I learned and I'm going to keep going. Why is this important to you? Because the answer is, you've gotten momentum in this challenge. This is the time to say, oh my gosh, I want to keep going. And imagine having Pedro in your car with you, the best in the industry at doing this. So you don't have to learn it slowly. You can learn it quickly. And the other thing I just want to finish with saying, I know it's kind of a famous saying that I really want you to let sink in. God can't steer a parked car. God can't steer a parked car. And friends, procrastination is the biggest form of self-abuse. You've got the model, you've got the mentor. This is your time. Type it in. It's my time. Thank you all for having me.
Wow. Guys, give it up for Sarah. Sarah, the chat's going crazy. The chat is going crazy. I love that quote. I refer to it often about, and how I phrase it is, not even God, right? If you believe in God, you probably believe in God as all powerful. It's the God of the universe, and not even God can move a parked car. We've got to cooperate a little bit. Again, if you don't believe in God and you believe in the universe, you believe in something, right? Because we all believe in something, right? We all believe in something. And so such good wisdom. And Sarah, thanks for being transparent. Like I said, literally, we all want to show our trophy case, but one of the things that I hear the most from my students is they love how I'm very willing to kind of show them my scars, show them my pain, and literally so much of success is if you can just avoid the failures. And so I love what you shared. And did you guys see, and was it the 5-day booking boost, right? 5-day booking boost. And then what was the price one called?
Pain-free pricing.
Pain-free pricing.
Take the pain away.
So 5-day booking boost. It's clear. What is this challenge about? I can boost my bookings in 5 days or less. I want more bookings. Wow, that's cool. I'm a photographer. As a photographer, you guys see, it solves our biggest problem. Not enough bookings. It gives the biggest desire. Make more money, right? I mean, simple. And then what was the pricing one called again?
Paid free pricing. And Pedro, if I can add this, we tested like one headline once that was like, make 6 figures with your photography business. And it did the worst.
Yep.
Our community isn't driven by the almighty dollar. They want to make some money so they can be a great parent. And so sometimes we sit and we get in our own heads when it's like, no, you're making it way harder. You guys, this doesn't have to be hard.
Yep. And then paid free pricing was, again, solving their biggest problem. They know they probably pricing, they know their pricing is off. They know it's probably too cheap, but they're too afraid to raise their prices because they're not going to give up. So literally, you guys see how Sarah was like, literally it's just right here. And maybe I'm sure Sarah is offering them a new approach. Hey, stop selling these digital prints. But again, they didn't know that was the problem. So hopefully you're seeing how what she did that work ties directly back to this big idea framework. And again, guys, blow up this chat. Help me. Thanks, Sarah. Sarah, thank you so much. That was fire. And literally like a 15-minute boom session. So thanks so much, Sarah. Love and appreciate you guys. See you guys next time. Guys, blow up this chat for Sarah. So hopefully it's starting to, guys, tell me, put in the chat if you're getting it. Type getting it. I want to see you put excited in the chat. Are you, by now, you should be getting excited about what's possible for you. Like this is like, by now, this is really when you're like, oh my word. Like now it's going like, now it's like, I can do this. I can. How many of you guys are having the thought? Put in the chat, just say, I can do this. How many of you for real are right now, you're like, man, I can do this. That's building. And tomorrow, when we show you how to fill up your challenges for free with organic social media, that's when I think maybe you're going to be like, now I've got to do this, okay? But this is kind of my big idea framework. But before we wrap up today, day 3, I want you to hear from someone who has made a living by using his framework, which is a little bit different. So we're going to give you a couple different options here, because whether it's Russell's framework, my framework, we don't care. We're in this to see you have breakthrough. We're in this to see you win, right? We're not here trying to keep score like, oh, is it your framework or is it mine? Like, we just want you guys to win, because we know how amazing life is on this side of that journey of transformation. And we are like-minded and have the same heart. We want to get as many people over here on this side as possible. And so whether it's this framework, something I've said, something that Sarah said, that Barry said, or Russ is going to say, we just want it to happen for you in these next 5 days. And tomorrow, many of you are already asking, Pedro, what's next? I want more. Like, I'm in. Don't worry, we're going to let you know what more looks like starting tomorrow. But today, my friends, to close out day 3 and to show us a framework that has allowed him to take ClickFunnels from a complete startup and grow it to the most well-known #1 marketing automation software in the industry, marketing industry legend. Guys, blow up this chat for Russell Brunson.
All right. What's up, everybody? How are you guys all doing? Oh, I'm so excited. I got jealous yesterday. Everyone got to hang out with you, and I didn't get to hang out. And so I'm grateful that I get to hang out with you guys today for 15 or 20 minutes and share some ideas with you guys. And thank you, Sarah, for also coming in. Like, it's hard to follow Sarah. She's amazing, and like her stories are awesome. So thank you for also participating. Okay, so what I want to talk about for the next 15 minutes or so is of all the things I teach or I talk about, the thing that's been the most valuable to me is it's interesting. It's also like the most simple framework that I do or I teach or I talk about. And it's interesting because I want to share this with you guys, because when somebody hires me for consulting, and I have probably one of the highest, not the highest rates for consulting. It's really expensive. When someone comes in like, Russell, my funnel's not working. What should I do? Russell, my ads aren't working. What should I do? Russell, my thing's not working. What should I do? The answer is always the same. And so I'm going to teach you guys this framework, because this will be good for you if you launch a funnel, you launch a challenge and it doesn't work. It's going to give you the ability to know how to diagnose this the same way I diagnose something. But then by knowing that ahead of time, before you go into actually building out your challenge, you can think through these things before we ever build it. Okay. And so that's what I want to share with you guys today. You guys cool with that? You want to hear it? Okay. the VIPs are already guessing like what they think the thing is. A bunch of you guys know exactly what it is. So let's throw up the image really quick. If you read any of my books, this is the image I use as I talk about this. The framework is simple. It's called hook, story, offer. This is the key. Like if somebody comes and they spend $1 million to hire me for consulting, they come, my funnel's not working, Russell, what should I do? I sit back and I look at the ad. I'm like, okay, here's your ad. Now it's one of three things. It's either the hook, the story, or the offer. I'm like, which one do you think it is? And they look at it, well, the hook's pretty good, but the story's not good. Maybe it's the story. Or maybe, the story's good and the offer's good, but the hook's not right. I'm like, okay, well, if that's not the right hook, what do you think the right hook should be? Like, well, what if I tried this hook? I'm like, let's try that one, right? And then they go, okay, that's the ad. Now let's go to the landing page. The landing page isn't working. Why, Russell? What do you think is like wrong? How can we fix this? I'm like, well, I think it's either the hook, the story, or the offer. I'm not sure which one. Which one do you think it is? And they'll be like, well, the hook's good, the story's good, but nobody's opting in, so maybe the offer's not good. I'm like, okay, well, how would you change that if you were me? Like, well, I would try, and like, I go page by page in their funnel. Literally, this is it. It's hook, story, offer, hook, story, offer. Okay. And so for you guys, like, if you understand this, first off, I'm going to challenge you as you start going through anything in like next time you're on Facebook or Instagram, I want you to start looking for the pattern and looking at what's good and what's bad. Okay. When you guys came into this challenge, you'll notice something that Pedro and I geeked out about a whole bunch of time ahead of time. It's like, what's the hook that's going to get somebody in here? After they're in the challenge, what are the stories we're going to tell to build rapport with people? And then eventually, what's the offer we're going to make them at the end, right? Hook, story, offer. And so even inside this challenge, I hope you guys are seeing this. There's hook, story, offer over and over and over again. There was a hook to get you to register. There's a hook to get you to show up. There's been hooks to get you to participate every single day, right? And so this framework repeats itself over and over and over again. And the better you get identifying it and seeing it, the better you can actually use that to be able to make the tweaks and the changes to be more successful in all of your business, okay? And this isn't just in business. This is literally in all areas of your life. If you're struggling with a relationship with your kids or your spouse or whatever, it's always the hook, the story, or the offer, okay? So this is the gift I want to give to you guys. So I want to break this down a little bigger. So let's throw the slide back up again real quick. So the thing I want to start out is on the last step. The last step is the offer. This is the thing that you're going to be offering somebody. Okay. And so yesterday, Pedro did an amazing job talking about like, what is it you guys are going to be offering? What's the product? What's the service? What's the thing you're going to make? Right. So the offer is the piece. I'm going to spend the least time today on the offer part, but the offer is the thing that you're going to make for them. Right. Now, I'm curious, how many of you guys came into this challenge? Like Pedro and Russell do this challenge. They're probably going to offer something at the end. How many of you guys felt that way? You're like, oh, they're probably going to sell us something. Yeah. Congratulations. You're right. Welcome to my world. We're not just doing this for our health. Obviously, we want to change your guys' lives and give you guys the tools and things you need, but there is going to be an offer. And it's not today. So don't stress. You guys can like leave your credit cards and your wallets down on the table, but tomorrow bring them because tomorrow I promise you there'll be an offer. Okay. So hook, story, offer. There's always going to be an offer. This is something you guys have to do as well. The offer sometimes is asking for money. Sometimes the offer is like, hey, give me your email address and I'm going to give you a 5-day challenge. Okay. That was the offer on the registration page. Give me your email address, okay? And I'm going to give you a 5-day challenge. So that was an offer, okay? Tomorrow we make you offer. It's going to be a different type of offer. It's going to be, hey, here, if you give us money, we'll give you this really cool program, okay? And so there's always an offer. Sometimes the offer is just getting somebody to click on an ad, right? Like, here's a really cool ad. Like, if you click on this, I will take you to a page where you can register for the thing. So the offer is them clicking to get something, right? In an email, you open an email and like the subject line is a hook, right? You open up, you read a story, and they make you an offer. Like, hey, click on this link to come register for the challenge, to come show up for the challenge, right? Every day you guys are getting emails from us making you offers. Like, why should you show up for the challenge? Well, today the offer was what? You're gonna hear from Pedro, you can hear from Sarah, you hear from Russell. Like, we are the offer, right? So the offer is the thing you're giving somebody in exchange for their time, their attention, their email address, their money, whatever it might be, okay? And if people aren't giving you that thing you want, which is a click or money or attention, whatever, it means your offer's not good. How do you make that offer sexier? Like, what can you do to make it more enticing for somebody? Okay, so that's the first step in the framework. Now, the offer is the key. That's why we all do what we're doing, right? We're trying to make this offer for somebody. Now, if I come to you and I try to make you an offer, if I'm like, hey, give me $10,000, I'm going to give you this course, like that offer, like, you're gonna be, why? Why would I give you that course, Russell? Like, why would I give you $10,000 for the offer? I don't even know the perceived value of it. So when you go one step backwards in the framework, the second step is story. Okay, and the goal of the story is to increase the perceived value of the thing we're going to sell someday. Okay, I wonder if we have one here. Do we have one of the fat markers? One of the magnums? I'm going to tell you guys a story. So, how many of you guys have ever seen Tony Robbins speak on stage before? So I remember seeing Tony Robbins on stage, and he had a big, huge whiteboard or something. We had a digital thing. I can write on the digital thing, right, with these markers. Will it work? Anyway, so let me tell the story first and I'll show the marker. So I remember I wanted to be on stage and I saw Tony Robbins. He had these huge markers. He was writing on the whiteboard and like, he looked so cool. Like Tony's just cool anyway, but like the big markers, he looks way cooler than I could ever dream of being, right? And so I remember seeing that, and then one day I'm like, Tony, I want to get a whiteboard and my big old markers. So we ordered a whiteboard, and we found the big long whiteboards, and then I remember ordering markers, and they were like little tiny markers. I was doing my first thing on stage. I was up there, and I started writing, and like the markers seemed so little. The writing looked tiny. And I was kind of embarrassed. I'm like, I don't feel like Tony Robbins. I feel so little. And so I went back to my team. I was like, I want big markers, like Tony-sized markers. I need the biggest ones possible. So I went back, and the next time we did an event, they had bigger markers. And they were bigger, but they were not Tony-sized markers. So I had these bigger markers, and I pulled it out. I remember I was like on the board, and I was writing. I'm like, I feel tougher, but I don't feel like Tony Robbins. Like, I want to feel like Tony. You know, if you've seen Tony, he's 6'6". His hands are this big. His teeth are bigger than my head. Like he's like bigger than life, and he's drawing on the thing. Like that's the power I want. I want to be able to encompass everything Tony's got, right? And so I kept going and kept trying to figure out some stuff. We could not find Tony's markers. We kept trying, kept searching, and finally, eventually, in like some obscure section of the internet, we found the magnums. Now, they don't sell these on the homepage or even like 10 pages deep because no one really wants big old markers for Tony Robbins and me. But I found these markers. And if you see the size of this thing, like this is like when I'm writing at this on a whiteboard, and I want to do it so bad, I swear to ruining this whiteboard. Like they are huge, okay? And so these are the secrets making you feel like Tony Robbins when you're writing on a whiteboard, okay? All right, now if I would have tried to sell you these markers like 3 minutes ago, I'd have been like, maybe it's $5.95. You can get a pack of 3 of these markers. You're like, oh, cool. But right now, how many of you guys are like, I need the Tony Robbins markers. I need to feel like I need the power of Tony surging through my body every time I'm drawing anything. Like even now, it's funny. I used to take notes on a pad of paper, but you can't take notes with these. Like if you look at my notepad, it is a huge old square because I want to write notes in the Tony Robbins size marker because I feel better about myself. I don't know why. I don't know how, but it is important to me. Okay. Now, if I was to sell you guys these markers right now, I could probably sell these for $97, $297 or more. Right? Now, why did this offer change? Why did the value of this offer change? Okay, throw our slide back up again. Because I told you a story. The story increased the perceived value of the thing that I'm trying to sell. Okay? If we would have seen you guys on a Facebook ad and like, hey, what's up, guys? Pedro's got this thing called Challenge Secrets. It's really cool. Teach you how to run challenges. For $5,000, we'll give you a copy of the course. What would you have said? What? Why would you do that? Makes no logical sense, right? So instead, we brought you through an experience. You've been here for 3 days, those of you for 5 days. In this time, we're telling you stories. We're building belief in yourself, all sorts of stuff that you can do with story, right? To increase the perceived value of the thing that we're going to offer you eventually. Okay? And that's your goal. It's one of the most powerful things about a challenge. You have so much time, 5 days, to tell stories, to build relationships, to increase the perceived value of the thing that you're trying to sell somebody. So when you do actually make that offer, they're like, wow, that is actually worth that. These markers are worth $97 because I will feel like Tony Robbins for just $97. That's amazing, right? Okay, so the story is the second piece. So we've got the offer story, but then the first piece is the hook. Okay, what is the hook? And Pedro talked about this. I think about this the same way. Like whenever I think about, I don't have my phone on me. Whenever I think about a hook, I think about somebody sitting on the couch, laying down with their phone, and they're on TikTok or Instagram, and they're just scrolling like crazy, or they're sitting on the toilet, or they're like ducking out of a meeting and doing whatever, but they're just scrolling and they're bored out of their minds. Okay. Our job with the hook is to get that person who is just scrolling. I in my head, I visualize this. They're scrolling, they're sitting there, right? Like they're walking down the street, and my job is to throw a hook, and the goal of the hook is to grab them just long enough to stop them so I can tell them my story. And the goal of the story is increase the perceived value of the offer. Hook, story, offer. Okay. So the hook is the thing that I'm doing to grab their attention. Now, what is a hook? Okay, a hook is all the things you have that you leverage, right? A hook can be a headline, can be an image, could be a video, could be a motion. Like if you ever look at any Russell Brunson ads, and I apologize, you've probably seen a bunch of them. It's like there's always Russell like, oh, I'm doing something crazy because I'm trying to get your emotion. Like you're scrolling, I gotta stop. Like sometimes I'm like burning my book. Sometimes I'm like shooting potato guns. Sometimes I'm hanging from the ceiling. We did this whole one with Mission Impossible. I was hanging from the ceiling in an ad like, hey everybody, like I'm doing everything in my power to get your attention just long enough I can then tell you my story so that I can eventually make you an offer, right? So hooks are the thing to grab someone's attention. Okay. Now, if you look at this picture here, there's a whole bunch of hooks. And why do you think I put a bunch of hooks up there? Because we don't know what hooks are going to work. Okay. You saw Sarah's presentation. She was throwing a hook after hook after hook after hook. You don't know what the fish are biting until you throw it out there and it grabs somebody. Okay. Now I'm not a fisher person. So many people who actually fish are probably going to totally make fun of me. I'm like, Russell, you're completely wrong. But my understanding of fishing is a different fish by different bait, right? Some fish want to eat worms. Some fish want to eat power bait. Some fish want to eat, I don't even know what else fish would possibly eat, but there's different things, right? So if I'm going to go out and try to catch a fish who eats worms, I'm throwing power bait out there, none of the fish are going to bite, right? But if I'm going to go out there and I know that the fish is like worms, if I throw a worm out, I'm going to get the right fish, right? So our job is figuring out like, what are the hooks that are going to get our dream customer? Okay. I'm going to come over to the whiteboard real quick. If you've read the .com Secrets book, one of the very first things I talk about in the intro chapter, I talk about like the first thing to figure out is who is your dream customer, right? Who is the person you actually want to attract? Okay. And I think in the book, I drew a picture of a lake like this, and then I drew pictures of fish, right? So first question is like, who is this person you want to serve? Okay. So when you think about your challenge, there's somebody like your dream customer. Like if I could just find those human beings and help them with my challenge and the offer I'm going to make them eventually, like, I know I could change life. Those are the people I'm most passionate about. Okay. And if you haven't thought about this, I would spend some time like, who do you actually want to serve? Sometimes people just go and throw hooks out there, not trying to target the right person, and they'll get the wrong people. In fact, I remember one day, I'd been running my business for 5 or 6 years. I remember waking up one morning, laying in bed, and I was miserable. And I was like, man, I wish I had a boss so they could fire me. But I can't, because I created this mess. And the reason why the reason why I wasn't happy is because I knew that I had attracted the wrong customers. I was dealing with people I did not want to actually serve. I was miserable. I remember I sat back down one day when that business was kind of crashing and burning. I'm like, do I just give up? Do I go get a job, or do I do this again? So if I do it again, I'm only going to do it if I get the right who's. Like, who do I actually want to serve? Who are those people, right? And I remember I actually sat down and I started making a list. Like, I want to work with people who one time in life, they're athletes or had something that they were passionate about. They could be athletics, could be music, could be drama, could be debate, but they did something in their life they were passionate about, right? And then I want someone who like has had that experience of changing somebody's life, and they knew what that felt like, and they want to do it more. They want to do it at a bigger scale. And I made all these lists of these criteria of what my dream customer would be. They'd be entrepreneurial. They'd be fun. They'd have energy. They wouldn't be boring. They'd be like, I made this whole list. And I remember I went to Google Images, and I copied that list into the Google Images search, and I clicked, and then I attached names. So the name I attached, I wrote Mike and all these things. I clicked search, and all these Google Images popped up. I remember scrolling through Google Images, and I was like, that dude right there, that's Mike. That's who I want to hang out with. That's who I want to serve. I took that picture and I printed it out and I put it on my wall. And then I said, okay, I love serving Mike, but I also want to serve like who's the opposite, like who's the female side that I want to serve as well. And remember, I made a list for my dream client who were females. I named her Julie. I went to Google Images. I typed in, click submit, and boom, all of these pictures picked out. And I was like, that's Julie. That's who I want to serve. Took that picture, blew it up, put it on my wall, and I had them on my wall for years. Mike and Julie. Those are my dream customers. I knew exactly who I was looking for. Okay. Then the second step is I got to throw out some hook. I got to throw out a bait, right? I got to throw out some hooks. So then over here, this is me as an entrepreneur. There's my fishing pole. I'm coming down, and there's some bait, right? And so this right here, this is the hook. Now, one thing I want to let's see. One thing I want to emphasize is that if you do this correctly, if you know exactly who you want to target, and you figure out exactly what the hook is you want to get, you can get the right people. Okay. If you don't think this, if you're just like throwing out hooks, you can get the wrong people. Like if Sarah did something like how to do photography where with a free camera, whatever. She's gonna get a bunch of people who got free cameras. I don't know, that's a horrible example, but first thing came to my head, right? It's gonna attract the wrong person. So the hooks you're putting out there, you make sure that you put them in a way and you phrase them in a way that actually attracts your dream customer. Okay. I could really easily put out a hook into the marketplace. It's like how to make $1 billion in 35 seconds with your very own funnel. And I can attract a whole bunch of people who want to make $1 billion in a funnel in 35 seconds. And they are going to be the worst customers ever. They're going to be miserable. I'm not going to enjoy them, right? Because I threw the wrong bait. And I can attract people with the wrong hook. But because I knew exactly who I wanted, like when Pedro and I sat down, like, who are we going to go after for this challenge? We're going after people who have a mission, who have a message, who want to share it, right? People who want to get on stage and talk about this thing because they're passionate about it, right? We knew exactly who you guys were. So when we started throwing hooks out, we started thinking, what are the ads? What are the hooks? What are the angles? What are the things that will attract that person into our world? And look at you guys, you're here. Okay, but all came down to us reverse engineering. Who do we actually want to get? And what's the hook we're going to use to throw out there to get your attention? So to stop you in the scroll, to get you to open the email, to get you to click, like all those kind of things, right? We create the hook. And after we get your hook, and again, hook is just grabs your attention just long enough to stop, right? And then we had a chance to tell you a story. Here's the story. Pedro and I are here. We look at all the different funnels. We want to share the funnel we think is the best funnel for you. We told you guys a story and the ads and the emails and everything. We told you a story and then made you an offer. If you go register for this challenge right now, we're going to give you 5 days of training from me, from Pedro, from all these amazing trainers. We're going to train you for free. Just give us your email address. Made that offer, right? And then the challenge got closer. And we're like, hey, how do we get them to actually show up? And so we gave you these hooks. Like, if you show up to this challenge, day number 1, what we're going to do is we're going to give you prizes. We're going to give you away. What do we give away day 1? Was it the phone day 1? An iPhone. There's a hook. We can give you an iPhone when you show up. Plus, you're going to hear from these people, right? And so we hooked you. We told you some stories about what's going to happen on day number 1. And we got on day, and the offer was show up. You have a chance to win this thing. Hook story offer. We got you here, right? Now, just because you came to day number 1 does not mean you're coming to day number 2. So day number 2, we had to refigure this thing out. Okay, what's the hook story offer to get them to show up to day number 2? And we did it again, right? Today was the same thing. Like, how do people show up? Hook story offer. We did it again and got you to come in, right? Same thing for tomorrow. Like, we're always thinking through this. So this is a framework you have to get really, really good at. I shared this for you for a couple reasons. Number 1, if you want to be a consultant, this is all I do. It's my magic trick. Like, I don't got anything else. People think I'm so smart. No. I just know it's either your hook, your story, or offer. Let's just look at that. Okay, so you know that if you want to be a consultant, but more so for you guys who are now crafting and designing your challenge, knowing that this is what I would tell you. If you were to pay me $1 million to come consult me, this is all I would tell you. You know that now, going to come into it and say, okay, what's my hook? What's going to be? I know, like, who's my dream customer? What's the hook that will get my actual dream customer to come to me? Not the people I don't want, but the perfect person I want to get. What's the hook I'm going to throw out there? Right? And then what's the story I'm going to tell when I'm in the challenge and I'm training and I'm teaching? What are the stories? And what's the offer I'm going to make them? Okay. So hook, story, offer. That's the framework that I want to share with you guys again, because it's the foundation of everything we do. And knowing it before you build your funnel is 1,000 times more powerful than trying to go and do it afterwards. Okay. So that's what I want to share with you guys today. Hopefully that nugget of hook, story, offer was valuable for you guys. With that said, I'm going to bring Mr. Pedro Deo back on the stage. Just give me a huge round of applause.
Guys, wow. Dude. All right, guys. Oh my gosh. I'm going crazy back here. I mean, can you guys hear my cackle? I have a very loud laugh. I like to laugh. Laughter is good medicine, I found out. Guys, I was sitting back here just loving this conversation, laughing, and just blown away by, now we're giving you 2 different kind of ways to approach this. We're giving you this big idea framework, and guys, this is your homework. So right now, guys, we're going to go right to the homework. We're going to land the plane for day 3. If you guys have gotten massive, massive value from just today alone, then I'll blow up this chat, and just put massive value, massive value, massive value. And this has been a free challenge. And I'd love just to have some real talk. How many of you would say that you have learned more in this free challenge that isn't even over yet? We are at the halfway point. How many of you would say you have learned more in this free challenge than in many of the 1,000, 2,000, 5,000? I've had people tell me they've learned more in my free challenges than in 25K and 50K plus masterminds. So if that's you, then let us know. Let us know if we're on track here. That's our goal. Our goal is to serve, over deliver this free challenge so that you guys will have this thought. The goal of your free challenge is to serve, add massive value, and then produce this thought. And that's why you shouldn't worry about holding things back. The thought you want to produce in your free challenge is, if this is how awesome and valuable the free training is, what happens when I actually give them some money? Like, that is the thought you want to produce with your ideal customers. And if you've been here for even just today, much as all 3 days, that's the thought that you for sure should be having about this. So, my friends, your homework for today is this. Super simple. And Holly, let's get ready with the, let's go to the, there we go. All right. So guys, your homework for today, we're going to give away 12 months of Zoom right now. So we're going to do that in just a second. Holly, have that ready. But your homework is this: brainstorm ideas using the big idea framework or hook, story, offer. Now, your offer is your challenge. In this example, your offer is your challenge. The challenge is the first offer, because if they say no to the challenge, they won't see the offer back. So use either hook, story, offer and or the big idea framework to come up with some potential ideas. Don't be critical of yourself. Just brainstorm, write out a bunch of ideas. Don't edit as you flow. Get in a creative flow and just start listing out a bunch of ideas. Okay. And the hook is to create and stop the scroll, grab their attention to then have them learn more about your offer for your challenge. Your free challenge is the offer in this example, okay? Second thing is, of all those you wrote down, which was your favorite and why? And then based on that big idea that you came up with, start to brainstorm some possible challenge names. That's your homework for today. We're going to shout a bunch of you guys out tomorrow, okay? Do the homework like you paid $10,000 to be here, or like you paid, I got to raise my prices. If Russell's charging $1 million for Hook Story offer, I think I got to raise my price a little bit. He's amazing, right? But I've been doing VIP days for only 100,000. So I think I might bump it up a little bit. Okay. But we're going to shout you guys out by doing the homework. So pretend you paid at least $10,000 to be here, and take this homework seriously, because this homework assignment right here could be the seed. How many of you know this, friends? How many of you guys have observed this? Say this out loud. Oak trees are hidden inside of acorns. Oak trees are hidden inside of acorns. Everything starts with the seed. This homework assignment is a seed to the life and future you want on the other side of your challenge, because this big idea is the seed that will grow into a full-blown challenge, into a full-blown challenge-based business. So do your homework, post it in the group, post it, go live, drop your homework in the Facebook group. And to wrap up day 3, Holly, who is the winner of 12 months of Zoom?
Brian Blandley.
Brian Blandley, congratulations, bro. You are the winner of 12 months of Zoom. Okay, and if you have not yet gone to prizes.challengesecrets.com, you should go do that for sure, because tomorrow I'm giving away my brand new updated program called Challenge Secrets Intensive. Someone's getting that tomorrow. It is literally over a $20,000 value program. Someone's winning that tomorrow. And on Friday, someone's winning 12 months of ClickFunnels 2.0. So if you're not registered in there, guys, it takes like a minute. Go for it. Prizes.challengesecrets.com. My friends, love you so much. God bless you. This concludes day 3 in the Challenge Secrets Masterclass. Be back here live with us for day 4 tomorrow as we show you how to fill up your challenges for free. What? Yes. How to fill up your challenges for free with using social media applications that are sitting on your phone right now, even if you don't have a big list or a big following or any of the things that you think you need. So my friends, that's tomorrow. Again, love you guys so much. Be back here live, 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern. We'll see you tomorrow for day 4. Until then, take care.